Believe it or not, we have been in this house for 3 months already.
Time flies.
Time flies. And before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I want to talk about 3 mistakes I think we've made so far.
Only 3.
Actually, 3's a lot.
There's a big list, I'm sure.
I want to make sure we talk about these because we are moving on from the 3 months of pretty stressful transition from one place to another. And we're moving into the planning stage. So we haven't addressed this yet. We kind of just started the series by introducing the house. But now I want to rewind. Now a little bit.
Bring it back.
Bring it back. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Mistake number 1, I think we moved into the house too early.
Okay.
Here's my reasoning. We had a bridge between the house that we were living in and this house.
Right, we had possession of both houses for
A month and a half.
Yeah.
So we could have come to this house, assessed the situation, cleaned everything from top to bottom, looked into the rooms, assessed the mold, assessed the carpets.
Definitely should have.
Yeah, we were just so excited because we had found our dream home and we just wanted to get in here.
Yeah.
But the day that we got possession, we filled a U-Haul truck. I think we were overzealous
Yeah, definitely.
because we could have even just packed sleeping bags and Griffin's pack and play and come here
Just
and
come for
slept here.
A camping night.
But we showed up with so much furniture and we put so much stress on ourselves moving into this house because we couldn't just move in. There were some rooms that needed some work before.
Yeah, we didn't know
No,
the
we didn't
state of some of the rooms because when we did see it quickly, there was always furniture in the way. So yeah, in hindsight, probably should have come, sussed out the situation, which probably would have made us say, let's stay in our home for a month while we do like a deep clean, rip out some carpets, get rid of the mold before we move in. But I remember just being so excited, like I want to see what the tide looks like every day and how the shoreline changes. And I was
We just
so
wanted to
excited.
be here.
Yeah.
But we had all of the stuff that we moved in, which was complicated cleaning, which complicated moving Griffin into his nursery because the 2 rooms that we had chosen, either or could have done for his nursery, but neither of them were ready.
There was a lot of unnecessary work that we put on ourselves because we were too excited to get in.
Too excited, yes. And this is like kind of a sub mistake of mistake number 1.
Point B.
Point B was that never assume anything in a reno is going to be easy because I thought to myself, okay, no big deal. It's just carpets. I'm just going to rip out the carpets, give the rooms a clean, and away we go. But in the room that we decided was going to be Griffin's room, there was not only 1 carpet, there were 2 that I uncovered. A really, really old one. And then underneath that carpet, they had glued down the underlayment. So it was absolutely adhered. And over the years, I think it had like melded with the subfloor. So once I got that brownish carpet up, I had to scrape all of the underlayment out. No wonder they didn't take up the original carpet. They just decided to lay another carpet right over top of it because scraping that underlayment, gooey, yucky, smelly, whatever it was, it had kind of just melted into the subfloor. It was old. It took a lot of work. I started with a shovel, realized the shovel wasn't doing the trick, so I went and got scrapers. At some point, I found a belt sander. I was using my orbital sander and shop vac, and it was just a lot of work. And hopefully that's not a sign of what's to come because what I thought was going to be a very simple room cleanup ended up being at least a week of work on my part during nap times and any free time that I had. So anyway, after removing 2 layers of carpet and scraping the underlayment off of the subfloor, then sanding the remnants off and cleaning everything, I turned to the windows, and the windows were actually really moldy and mildewy as well. I don't know if the air circulation in that room had been the best. There's a really moldy spot in the corner. I used a bleach solution, I was wearing a mask, and we also have an ozonator that we ran in the room for an hour at a time, 3 times to try to kill any kind of mold spores as well. I cleaned those windows. Each window probably took me an hour, and that's not exaggerating, maybe more, and a roll of paper towel for each window. Obviously, as I'm doing this, I was thinking about Griffin and not wanting him in that space until I thought that it was spick and span, sparkling clean. So I got everything cleaned up, I got everything wiped down. We have an air purifier in that room now. I think the windows are as clean as they possibly can be, but that took a long time and a lot of energy that I did not have because the move took so much out of us because we chose to do it ourselves. And that leads me to mistake number 2. Second mistake that I think we made, we didn't hire movers.
Yeah. So we thought it would just be, you know, an easy
Couple
move. We
things.
actually sold some of our furniture at the old house with the house. So we were like, oh, that's great. We don't have to move this. We'll just move our things and a couple pieces of furniture.
And a couple tools in the garage.
Yeah, underestimated that. So we thought, let's save a little bit of money and we'll just hire a U-Haul. What a sweet ride.
Hi, Griffey.
And we'll do the moving ourselves rather than paying a moving crew those exorbitant fees. We knew it would be at least $4,000, more than $4,000.
Money well spent in hindsight.
Yeah, we knew it would be more than $4,000, and we tried to avoid that by doing it ourselves.
Yeah.
We figured it would be about $1,000, which, you know, save a few $1,000. But looking back, I would have definitely paid that $4,000 to $5,000 or $6,000 after what we went through.
How many trips did we make?
So we had to rent the U-Haul truck, and we thought it would be one trip. What were we thinking?
That's the other thing. You don't realize how much stuff you have until you have to move it.
It's kind of scary how much stuff we had.
It is scary.
So we loaded up the truck. I took it in the afternoon, right when we got possession. Kate followed with Griffin. We
in my truck,
unloaded,
and it was loaded with stuff too.
and we had to return the U-Haul the next morning.
We decided that we weren't staying here that day.
Right, we couldn't stay here that night, so we went back to our Nanaimo home. It's an hour in between, mind you. So we went back to Nanaimo, loaded the truck again until like midnight, and then got some sleep. I woke up at like 6 a.m., drove here, unloaded it
By
myself, drove the truck back to Nanaimo so that we could return it. So then we realized we still need another truckload.
At least.
So yeah, we had to rent another truck a separate day, hire a couple of movers on our own.
Because if Griffin's up, I'm on parent duty.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you were lifting all of the heavy things and handling the move.
Some of the stuff took 2 or 3 people just to get into the truck. So that, I mean, we couldn't even do that if Griffin wasn't there.
And you made 2 more trips, right?
And then we had to make 2 more trips on top of that. So it was 4 trips total. And
then loading up my truck.
your truck and my SUV every time, probably 6 or 7 trips full. What were we thinking with the one trip? I don't know. You really underestimate how much stuff you have.
Yeah. Yes. And I will never do that again.
That was a huge
We got
mistake.
halfway through, and I debated whether we should still call
hire.
movers.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
Hire movers. Don't be silly like us. Hindsight's 2020, obviously, but yeah. So mistake number 2, would have hired movers. Mistake number 3, this is a smaller mistake, but something that we definitely should have thought of. We didn't get the septic pumped before we moved in or within the first week of moving in, or put it in the contract that the old homeowners had to pump out the septic. We wanted the offer to be as desirable as possible, so we didn't want to put anything in that might deter them from going with our offer.
Once we moved in, we should have at least figured stuff out, even if...
We were just overwhelmed.
Yeah, there was so much to do, but we do have contacts and of course our realtors. We could have figured it out. So that was the real mistake, is not even knowing when the last maintenance or pump was done.
I don't think it was recent because great timing. Matt's parents were here, his sister was here, we had his cousins coming in for a visit for the day. It was a holiday long weekend, it was on the Monday, everything was closed. Matt looked outside and said, I think our septic is overflowing.
It was coming up.
It was bubbly. Obviously had to call someone in. Luckily we got someone that same day. At first he thought that our septic tank was just kaput and wasn't functioning properly at all. And that snowballs into possibly tens of thousands of dollars worth of like new tank, new septic bed. Fortunately, He got the lid off. There was a filter. He taught me how to clean the filter, pumped the tank, and it seems like things are okay. It just hadn't been pumped in a long time.
Yeah, so mistake, not as big as the first two. I think that was a real...
Yeah, I think we also lucked out though that it wasn't a big mistake, that you never know because we didn't get a home inspection. So the septic could have just been getting by the hair of its teeth. That sounds really gross and weird that a septic would have hair and teeth.
So yeah, definitely should have looked into that, knowing that it does need to be pumped, without just thinking, I guess we'll wait until it's a big problem. Yeah.
We will now regularly get the septic pumped,
Right.
and we know when it's done.
Yeah. Now we keep our own records.
Exactly.
The worst part about all three mistakes were that they were so easily avoidable. Not very often do you have the ability to stay in your house while you get possession of the new house. So that should have been a simple thing.
That should have been a no-brainer.
Just, what were we thinking?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We weren't thinking. And then secondly, with the movers,
just hire the
if
movers.
we had prolonged the stay in Nanaimo where we were living and just had movers come in after this house was ready to go, we wouldn't have even had to stress about it. They would have done all the moving for us. And in that time, we could have had the septic pumped.
Yeah.
So all of those, you're right, are
Easily solved. Yeah.
So let that be a lesson for us moving forward, maybe. Just that we need to think about the ease and our stress and the fact that you have a full-time job. And when Griffin's awake, when you're working, I'm with him. So things don't get done as fast. We're not as efficient. Obviously, the house needs to be child-proofed. The reno can't affect Griffin's living spaces because we want to keep him safe. I think it's just a good reminder to both of us that we need help.
We need help. Help us.
I'm just going to leave it like that. Just really ambiguous. We need help. But we do. We need to look into bringing people in to help us because this is a big project.
Yeah, we like to do a lot of things on our own. Moving should not have been done on our own. Obviously, a lot of the stuff with this house we can't do on our own. So yeah, it's lessons learned.
We're here. We want to be here. We want to work. We want to be able to save money by doing a lot of it ourselves.
Right.
But we also need to look at whether we're actually saving money and stressing ourselves out. And if we can make it, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's going to be the thing that we need to ask ourselves moving forward. Is it worth it?
Right.
And sometimes it isn't.
And now it's time to start ripping stuff up.
Now it's the fun part.
Yeah.
What are we going to rip up first?
The dance floor.
We do that daily. That's it for this week's video. 3 fairly avoidable mistakes. We did vow to be as transparent as possible, so want to share everything. Mistakes, problems, new ideas, old ideas.
The good and the bad.
The good and the bad.
And the ugly. So sometimes trying to save money is not worth it. But you know how you can save money? Like and subscribe because it's completely free.
So they're saving money by doing that?
Yeah, it doesn't cost anything. You can cancel your cable.
Perfect.